the control phase usage of control chart is important. So we are learning about control chart. So what is control chart? What is theory of variability? Theory of variability is variation always exists. If there is no variation, all of us will lose our job. We are there in the company because our boss knows things will change. So we need to control the variation in such a way that it never affects our business result, right? And then how to plot a control chart manually and Minitab method. Probably we'll focus on Minitab method. So this is the control chart. What is this? Yes. So this is the, okay, let me erase these things. Okay. Okay, no problem. This I have scribbled somewhere in the last time. So a control chart, this is the control chart where you see a green color line and this red color line on the above the green line, above the center line, and there is another red line below the center line. This green line is called the center line. This red line is called upper control limit. This red line is called lower control limit. Now, as a green belt, you might be knowing what is the distance of upper control limit from the center. How much will be the distance from the center?
0.5.
Not 0.5. This will be 3 sigma. We studied, right?
Okay, yeah.
A point at a distance of 3 sigma from the center is called control limit. A point at a distance of 2 sigma from the center is called warning limit. Right? So this is upper control limit, this is lower control limit. It will be, the distance will be 3 sigma. Right? If you plot a control chart, if you see all the points falling inside the control limit, you can understand your process is statistically in control. You can understand your process is stable. But if the points are outside the control limit, see here one of the point is outside the control limit. So now you can't say your process is stable. You can't say your process is in statistical control. If the process is not in statistical control, and you can't improve it easily. Even if you try to improve it, your resources will be wasted. So it is very important before improving any process, you achieve the statistical control, you achieve the stability. So control chart is a tool introduced by this gentleman, Walter Andrew Shewhart in 1920, right? And you can use the tool called control chart to monitor the stability of a process. You can use the tool control chart to determine the readiness for improvement. Whether the process is ready for the next level of improvement or not. How do you know? Only know if it is stable. And then you can use the control chart to demonstrate an improved performance. You can use the control chart to demonstrate an improved performance. So these are the uses of control chart. So in order to understand control chart, you must understand the difference between common cause and special cause. And Priya madam, I have a doubt. Hamsa Priya madam, have you posted the information in turning up? That's okay. So let's understand the difference between common cause and special cause. See, imagine, I think all of you daily go to the office from your house. Am I right? Nobody stays in the office. You come to your house and then every day you go to your office. Am I correct?
Yeah, correct.
Definitely. So let us say you use a two-wheeler to reach the office. How much time it may take, Kaviraman, for you to reach your office every day?
30 minutes, we can say. Actually, I'm working from home. We can say.
Working from home. Very good. Okay. So anyway, that let us say it takes on an average 40 minutes for you to reach the office. Right? Now I monitor the time taken by you to reach the office continuously for 5 days. You see the numbers. One day you took 40 minutes. One day you took 45 minutes. One day you took 38 minutes. One day it is 41. Other day it is 39 minutes. On an average, you reach office in 40 minutes. But when I took the readings are like this. If I now ask you, Kaviraman, why you took extra 2 minutes on second day? Will you be able to explain me?
No, we can. Based on the traffic.
No, this you can't really figure out the reason for the 2 minutes. It quite happens. Even if I go or you go or anybody goes, it will be always 40 minutes plus or minus 1 minutes. You can't explain the reason for the variation always. Sometimes it becomes unexplainable. If the reason is unexplainable, it is called common cause. It is called common cause of variation. You are going to office by bike, plus or minus 1 or 2 minutes will be there. You can't expect a reason for it. But one day you reached office in just 25 minutes. Now I ask you, how Kaviraman, how can you reach office in 25 minutes? Will you now have an answer for my question?
Yes.
Yes,
Because
what could
there
be
is
a
no-
possible answer?
No traffic.
Beautiful, no traffic. Only you are driving in the road, so you have reached office in 25 minutes. And now, if you can explain the reason for variation, that is called special cause. What is special cause? Generally, there will be traffic on the road when you go to office in the morning, but that particular day, there is no traffic because it's a lockdown day, right? And that means the reason for variation is special cause. What you need to understand is number 25 is far away from the average. What was your average? Your average was 40. When your number moves far away from the center, you can understand the reason for the variation is a special cause. Right? Another day, you reach office in 55 minutes. Is it a common cause variation or special cause variation?
Special cause variation.
This time it is rain. There was a rain, heavy rain. So you have to slow down. So you consume the extra time and you reach office in 55 minutes. And another day, you took 1 hour and 40 minutes. Is it a common cause variation or a special cause variation?
Special cause only.
Yes. Because that day you met your girlfriend on the way. So you decided to spend 1 hour in a coffee shop. And so you 1 hour 40 minutes to reach the office. So the numbers can let you understand whether the source of variation is common cause or source of variation is special cause. If the source of variation is common cause, you can't do anything on it. You can't control it. But if the source of variation is special cause, will you be able to control it? You can control it. Because a reason exists, that reason is called a special cause. You must fix the special cause so that your performance will remain in stable. So this is basically the difference between the common cause variation and special cause variation. It will reflect in your number. So this is first one is common cause, second one is special cause. This is third one is also special cause. Fourth one is very special cause. So variation always exists. A process that is operating with only chance cause of variation is said to be in statistical control. However, a process that is operating in the presence of assignable cause. Assignable cause means special cause. Right? Assignable cause is said to be an out of control. Out of control points will appear either above the control limit or below the control limit. All of you understand what's the difference between common cause and special cause? Yes. And now, let us.
So one question.
Yes.
One question.
Yes.
Now, in a same process, you can have a special cause. You can have a normal
Common cause.
common clause. Like say, for example, my sales, like for example, sales process, a telecalling sales process. Now it was going on. All of a sudden, either there was a new product launch or there was some compliance issue.
Okay.
The government told me to stop the calling for 10 days or 15 days. My sales dropped. Then again, I got a permission from the government. Again, I resumed like after 10 days. So there was some variation. Then there was another code guideline. But again, we had to stop. So somewhere, in the same process it happens. So how would we address that in a process, or would it, how would it fit in this, the same process itself?
Yeah, you said, the government has, government intervenes, right?
Yeah, once the government intervene, The other time, some other product was launched.
So
Some new
those are
product.
special, see, those are special causes. Those are special causes. And if you think those special causes are disturbances to your process, you must fix the special causes. But can you fix government's intervention? Is it under your control?
No, it is not.
So you can't do anything for it.
Because since we
You
live
just
in,
have to, you must learn to live with it.
like, see, okay,
There is something which is under your scope, which you can control. Then what you need to do is you must fix the special cause. See to that such special cause doesn't intervenes in the future. Clear?
right. Otherwise, see, if this suppose there is no government, like there is disruption in the market, like how Geo thing happened. Until
Yes.
then, the sales of the prepaid cards and everything was happening correctly. All of a sudden, it happened. Now, every company took different time to respond, to change their product line, to change their recharges or everything. So their sales dropped because customers were not paying, where they are getting a free or quite a good benefit. So many organization sales would have dropped since there is a new entrant in the market. So
Yes.
the same process also we can have such
Correct.
common cause and but the process can keep on going. And now once they also design their products, right?
Yes. See,
Okay.
if you are sales, you are projecting your sales, maybe the like the mobile or something, like your sales is always at a constant level. It is going up and down. It is a stable performance, and suddenly Jio or someone makes a big offer, and as a result, your sales drops. Then what is that your control chart will do? Control chart will only tell there is a special cause. Control chart will only tell there is a special cause. See, sales slightly going up, slightly going down, you don't have to react much. It will be there, right? Sales go up, sales can come down. You can't blame your system, or you can't blame your process, or you can't blame your team. This small ups and down will be there. That is called common cause. How do we say it is common cause? As long as the deviations going up and going down are within the 3 sigma limits, you can consider nothing seriously deviated. It's all quite common. But the moment you see your sales going beyond 3 sigma limit above or beyond 3 sigma limit below, that is beyond upper control limit or beyond lower control limit, you must understand your process is disturbed by an factor. It could be part of your process, or it could be beyond your scope. If it is beyond your scope, you only can understand that a factor which is beyond your scope has influenced your sales. That's all. Because you don't have control over it. You can't really control Jio or your competitor. But you understand why the sales has gone down. But the moment you understand the special cause is actually a factor under your control, then you can immediately stop the process, study, and see to that particular factor is fixed, and then you continue running the process. As a result, what will happen? Your sales will again be at the same level. Got it?
Got it.
Right. So imagine here, let us use how we can use a control chart for our business scenario. You see, there are some numbers. These numbers are nothing but data, because in order to plot the control chart, we need data. See here, consider these numbers as dimensions. Dimension length, right? The length has to be 600 mm. If the length is more than 600, customer will. Length is less than 600, customer will reject. Only some tolerance will be there, beyond which there will be rejection. So my target is I want to produce everything around 600. And those of you not belong to a manufacturing kind of thing and you don't deal with the length, you can consider this as a time. Maybe 600 seconds is the lead time, or 600 seconds is the turnaround time. 600 seconds is the transaction time, something like that. It is after all a number which represents the characteristics of your process. Now, the company runs in 4 shifts. Shift number 1, shift number 2, shift number 3, shift number 4. Every single shift, you take 5 samples. Every single shift, how many sample you take? 5 sample. And this number 5 is called subgroup size. It's called what? Subgroup size. And second shift, you take 5 sample. Third shift, you take 5 sample. Why do you take sample? Because you want to understand how is your production and how is your result in the first shift. Am I right? Yes or no? Yes or no? We select 5 sample from shift number 1. Why we are selecting 5 sample? We want to understand how is the performance in shift number 1. Am I correct or not?
Correct.
So this sample, though it is just 5, it is representing everything you produced in the entire shift. In the entire shift, you might have produced 1,000 items, but this 5 item is going to represent the 1,000. Do you want the 5 to be a good one or a bad one? Tell me. You take a sample of 5, you expect the 5 to be good or bad?
It's been good, sir. Fine, sir.
It should be good. If it is good, you allow the system to continue in shift number 1, isn't it? The moment you
Yes.
understand the sample itself is bad, you know the sample is representing the whole lot. So you will not allow the people to produce further. Am I correct or not?
Correct.
Hey, what is this morning 10 o'clock coming and checking and settings are wrong? If settings are wrong, how can you just continue just like that? So you have to be very careful with your control chart. Though it is just a point in the control chart, it represents a big lot behind it. Am I correct?
Correct.
Every point represent a big population, right? Or a big portion of the population. Because this sample of 5 represent everything your company has produced in shift number 1. I don't know how much your company could produce. But if this is wrong, everything could be wrong. And then you can't send everything to market. If you send everything to market, your brand name will be spoiled. So that is why every shift we have certain frequency with which we collect the sample. So now in a day, 4 shift and 1 sample or 1 subgroup of 5 sample is selected every single shift. That means in a day, 20 samples are collected. Likewise, continuously I do it for 5 days. So totally I have 100 sample. Now what is this data? This data I said length. It can be time. Whether it is length or time, it is continuous data. What is this? Continuous data. When your data is continuous, you need to plot X bar R chart. Anybody used X bar R chart? Any of you have plotted X bar R control chart? All right, maybe new to you, but we will learn it here. So there are certain procedure. Don't worry about the calculations. I'll tell you how to plot. Right, see here. Shift number 1, there are 5 data. What is this X bar? X bar is average of the 5. Can you take average of 5, calculate average of 5? Is it easier?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Add all the 5, divide by 5. Then calculate range. What is range? Within the 5,
Yes.
maximum minus minimum. What is maximum?
601.16.
What is the minimum?
590.
So difference is 3.6. I want you to calculate like this for all the 20 subgroups. How many subgroups are here? 20 subgroups. For all the 20, there will be 20 X bar, there will be 20 R. The X bar will be plotted in the X bar chart, R will be plotted in the chart. Now, for all the 20 averages, can you calculate the average of the averages? Possible, right? That is X double bar. This X double bar is going to be the center line. Similarly, you have 20 ranges. Calculate the average of the ranges. That is called R bar. The R bar will be the, the center line in the range chart. Right? So now, once you have the data for X bar chart, data for R chart. First, you must plot range chart. First, you must plot range chart and take a graph sheet, and the R bar value is 2.72. R bar value is 2.72. See here, below 3, center line is drawn. Upper control limit and lower control limit, there are certain formulas. You don't have to remember the formula. Rather, you can use Minitab. See here, upper control limit D4 into R bar. Lower control limit D3 into R bar. This is the formula for finding out the upper control limit and lower control limit in R chart. Similarly, formula for finding control limit in X bar chart is X double bar plus A2 into R bar will give you upper control limit. X double bar minus A2 into R bar will give you lower control limit. Now there are some constants D3, D4, A2. See here, for a subgroup size or a sample size of 5, A2 value is 0.577, D3 is 0, D4 is 2.114. This table is available, right? And no, that is there. It is there in no, you can see it in Google itself, or this will be shared with you. So all these constant, the control limits are calculated. See here, center line is drawn. Upper control limit is calculated to be 5.75. Lower control limit is calculated to be 0. Now upper control limit is drawn. Lower control limit is drawn. Now you need to plot the points. You know what you need to plot here? You need to plot the range. How many range you have? 25 range you have. Center line, upper control limit, lower control limit. First one, second one, third, 4, 5, 6. All the range. All 20 ranges are plotted. Do you get all the 20 ranges within control limit?
Yes.
So, as per the R chart, your process is under statistical control. Now you can connect the points one by one in the same order with a scale and a pen. Right? Connect it, connect 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, like that. It will go like this. The resulting diagram is called a control chart. It is very evident that your R chart is under control. If R chart is under control, what does it mean? Can somebody tell me? If R chart is under control, what does it mean?
Our process in Six Sigma.
No. Process is not Six Sigma.
The sample we are selecting is under the population.
It's a stable process.
Process is stable.
There's some variations.
See here, this subgroup came from shift number 1. Am I right? Yes.
Understood, sir. Shift number 1 having positive side, shift number 2 having lower side, which again they are running.
This represents shift number 1 on day 1. This is shift number 2. This is shift number 3. This is shift number 4. And now this is day 2. Shift number 1, shift number 2, shift number 3, shift number 4. This is day 3. 1, 2, 3. Every single day, variation within the subgroup are under your control. Variation within the subgroup are under control. There are 2 types of variation. One is within variation, another one is between variation. I will again talk about this. But right now, what are we trying to control is, we are trying to control the within variation. What are we trying to control in our chart? We are trying to control the within variation. It is evident that within variation is under control. When within variation is under control, you can proceed and plot X bar chart. If within variation is not under control, my suggestion to you is, you as a green belt, you must stop the process. You must stop the process and investigate what went wrong in that particular shift. Clear?
So one quick question.
Yes.
So like in the real world, like in a manufacturing or any other process, is there someone who keeps a track of these control charts? Do we have designated individuals or teams like in the manufacturing process, like manufacturing?
Yes. There has to be data collection. There has to be plotting of control chart, and there has to be monitoring. And nowadays, even with Industry 4.0 and digitization, digitally control charts are plotted in real time. You can see control chart, moving up and down in real time. Nobody need to collect the data. System will automatically fetch the data and then plot the control.
Okay.
Or you can do it manually also.
Okay. Because small businesses may not have these softwares may not have.
They can do it manually. They need to do it manually.
Because the reason I'm asking, because many there are small manufacturing units which we see here. So like, I was just wondering, in the real world, how do they do it and maintain the quality? Like they may not be that savvy people. I've seen like industrialists, so they make the small parts of the vehicles, or small ancillaries. So I was just wondering that way to ask.
You're very correct. You're very correct. The tool what we are studying right now, control chart, is also one of the 7 basic quality control tool. Am I correct? Any company, whether it is small, medium, or large, should make use of all the 7 QC tool in their day-to-day work. If that is not happening, quality is only a talk. Right? So people have to be equipped, and then they must be comfortable using all these tools. Still, we are not talking at the higher level. We need to understand. We are not talking at the higher level. We are talking at the 7 QC tool, the foundation tools. It must be used. All right. Right now, moving on to the X bar chart. You know why I move on to the X bar chart? Because my R chart is under control. Now for X bar chart, the center line is X double bar. You know how X double bar came. And upper control limit will be X double bar plus A2 into R bar. And the value of A2 is 0.577 for a subgroup size of 5. Right? So all the calculations are done. You will see, everything happening effortlessly in minute time. So upper control limit, lower control limit. So I plot the center line. I plot the upper control limit. I plot the lower control limit. Now, first point will be the first average. How many average you have? 20 average. Every average represents one subgroup. Every subgroup represents the outputs you have produced in the whole shift. If one subgroup average is out of control, you can understand everything you have done in the shift is out of control. If that lot is sent to the market, the entire lot is definitely going to come back to your factory. Am I correct? That is why earlier I told you, even if one point is going out of the control limit, you must take it seriously. Right? First point, center line, upper control limit, lower control limit. First point, second point, third, average of the fourth subgroup, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and I plot everything one by one. All the points are plotted. Now I connect 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, something like that. Now tell me, is that your process is stable or statistically in control?
No.
Out of control. Because the 8th subgroup has fallen below lower control limit. So you understood your process is not under control. Tell me, what will you do if this happens in your workplace? What will you do as a manager in your company, as a responsible professional in your company? What is your job now?
8th lot need to hold. And we need to put the red tag and we need to validate everything. 100%.
Very good. Go for 100% inspection. Beautiful. Because one point represents all the units produced in shift number 4 on day number 2. All the units which are ready for the dispatch now must be thoroughly 100% inspection. If you don't respect this point, send the lot, what will happen? The entire lot will come back to your factory. Your customer will reject and also cancel the contract. Things can become very serious also. Now, what this curve helps you to monitor the between batch variation. See, earlier I told you the R chart. R chart is helping you to monitor within batch variation. R chart is helping you to monitor within batch variation. But X bar chart is helping you to monitor between batch variation. You know what is between batch variation? The green belt right now is 20th batch. The green belt right now is 20th batch. The previous batch is batch number 19. The level of quality we maintained in batch number 19 and level of quality we maintain in batch number 20 are expected to be same. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can understand how effectively you are maintaining the quality from one batch to other batch only when you plot the control chart. Otherwise, you can't really understand, right? So that is why the X bar chart is helping you to monitor the between batch variation. And now we understand the between batch variation is out of control. Even though there is only 1 point going out of the control limit, generally companies ignore these points. Am I right? But I'm lucky enough to get an answer from Surajit that, sir, we will do 100% inspection. That's a beautiful approach. I don't know how many companies are following that approach. They have to do it. If they don't know and then simply they ignore, it simply means that they are not actually, they have not understood the manufacturing process and all. They simply produce and then send it. Though it is just one single point, this is an average. This average represents all the units produced in that particular shift. And so that particular set of output products deserves an 100% inspection, and then only your customer can be assured about the quality. Otherwise, there will be a lot of consequences because of this single point. So don't ignore this by saying that it is just 1 point. 1 point also is very important. Right? And now you need to look at both control charts together. This is our chart. This is the one you plotted first. This is the X bar chart. This is the one you plotted next. Now looking at the thing, what you understand is R chart is under control. R chart under control means the variation within batch is under control. But X bar chart is out of control. It means the variation between the batch is out of control. See, in order to understand, let us take an example. All of you eat potato chips. Will you eat? All of you?
Yes, sir.
One of the famous chips is Lay's chips, right? Potato Lay's chips, right? The Lay's chips, let us say they produce chips, in lot, and then, they send it to different cities. It comes to Chennai, it goes to Bangalore, it goes to Delhi, it goes to Hyderabad. Every city receives the Lay's chips. Now, as a customer, what do we expect? Do we expect the same taste in all the cities? Come on.
Yes.
We expect the same taste in all the cities. That means that will happen only when your X bar chart is under control. How many of you understand the importance of X bar chart now? First day, all the production has been sent to Chennai. Second day, the production has been sent to Delhi. Third day, production sent to Bangalore. Fourth day, production sent to Hyderabad, Kanpur, so many places. Do you understand? You expect all the customers throughout India to have the same taste. That is reflecting in your X bar chart. Let us say this particular point is Secunderabad. What will happen to the people in Secunderabad? Can somebody comment now?
You will not realize the taste.
They will get a taste different from the regular taste of the Lay's. So what will happen? You might see a lot of complaints coming from Secunderabad. Am I correct or not?
Correct.
If you want to avoid that, you need to make sure your X bar chart is under control. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, what is this city? Can somebody tell me? This city is Chennai, right? This city is Chennai. Am I right or not? This is Chennai. And now the lot produced on day 1 has been sent to Chennai. And now within Chennai, will it get distributed to all major places? For example, Anna Nagar gets, and Gindi gets, Ambadur gets, and then Saidapet, T Nagar, every place in Chennai will receive the chips packet. Am I right?
Right.
What is the expectation? Do you want everyone in Chennai to get the same experience with your chips packet?
No.
Do you expect this? Do you want to really give same taste to all the people in Chennai, or wanted to give different taste?
The same test because it's under the control. It will be same test.
Same taste only we want to give. If you want that to happen, the R chart should be under control. Clear? You are not responding. Right. So there are two things we have seen. One is R chart, which needs to be under control. It practically means the within batch variation is under control. And X bar chart needs to be under control. It means the variation between the batch needs to be under control. And you can monitor the variation between the batch only when the variation within the batch is under control. If this is not under control, you should not plot R chart. You should not plot X bar chart. You must investigate, first of all, why the variation within the batch is out of control. Get it in control and then start monitoring the variation between the batch. Here is batch to batch variation. First batch production compared against second batch production, compared against third batch production. What your company deserves is company deserves production of same quality. Am I correct? That same quality products are coming out of my factory is getting monitored in the X bar chart. So a control chart can be used to monitor stability, determine readiness for improvement, demonstrate improved performance. X bar R chart monitors the mean and variation of a process CTQ data in subgroup. It works well when subgroup size is 8 or less. See, X bar R chart is used for continuous data. You must prefer to plot X bar R chart if the subgroup size is 8 or less. In our problem, what is the subgroup size? 5.
Right.
It is less than 8. When it is more than 8, you must plot X bar S chart. If the subgroup size is only 1, then you must plot IMR chart, right? A point falling outside the control limit indicates the presence of special costs. Whenever there is a special cost, 100% inspection should be carried out and process must be stopped. You must investigate why process got disturbed, and then if that factor is under your control, see to that the same factor doesn't play again. If a special cause is detected, the process must be stopped and investigation must be initiated. If subgroup size is more than 8, use X bar S chart. If subgroup size is 1, an IMR chart should be used, right? If subgroup size is less than 8, the chart is X bar R chart. So this we discussed the formulas and other things. You don't have to worry. What I want is, I want you to watch this video.
So,
Yes.
so 1 minute behind, 1 slide behind, sir, or 2 slides, I would say.
This one?
Yeah. 1 minute. Yeah, 1 slide. Take it ahead.
This one.
Ahead, sir. This I got it.
That's all. Only 2 recap slides.
Yeah, this one. Quick recap. The second part. Yeah.
Done.
Yes.
So I want to play this video and I'll be asking you a few questions after the video. Watch it. They plotted. Did you watch the video? You have not watched it carefully?
1 second, sir.
1 second, I can't play all the video. X bar chart. They also plotted X bar R chart. They plotted 2 things. One is thick. What is that they measured? Thickness of the
Thickness and salt also.
thickness of the potato wafer, because thickness is very important to the taste and the crispiness. If thickness is not maintained, properly, then there will the customer will get different experience in different places. So they were very much concerned about the thickness. Another thing is the salt content. The taste mainly depends on the salt content. So salt content measurement, they have a specific procedure. Sample is taken and it is grinded, and then it is mixed up in distilled water, and then electronic salt analyzer is used to figure out the salt content. That is called operational definition. Back-to-back variation. Very frequently, every 1 hour, they collected the sample. Why they collected sample every 1 hour? Because they want the thickness to be uniform. When it is at a particular thickness, then chips will not break. If the thickness is too much, taste will vary. If the thickness is too thin, then it will break inside. So they have this thing. Right? So that's it about the control chart. Now we'll see how we can use Minitab to plot control chart.